Yeah, feeling good on a Saturday, going to Dimmers. Oh, Dim,
Oh, hey.
you're looking good, dude. New shirt?
Well, I gotta represent my favorite band.
Yeah?
Rascal Fats, baby.
How'd you get that?
How did I get it, or how did I get into it?
Whoo! Both.
Well, this is the wife's, and I just figured I'd try to, look good for tonight. So,
Looking
how do I look?
fantastic.
Rascal Flats, baby. Rob squared.
Who?
Well, I mean, actually, Rob's just Rob, because I don't know where Brad. Where's my co-host?
Yeah. Sorry.
Here he is.
Sorry.
Wardrobe change.
Well, I was with our boys, Rascal and Flat.
Oh man, they recommended that.
No, so I was on tour. They're on tour right now.
Here's your mic. Get this on there.
Oh, yeah. Excuse me here. So I was on tour with Rascal and Flat.
Rascal Flats.
One of our sponsors. We're
Probably
drinking.
you're not in here.
We were drinking some torpedo beers.
All our
And
sponsors, baby.
well, so here's the thing. There was a torpedo beer. I just bam, knocking them down left and right. Torpedo. I didn't know what I was doing. And then one time I went to go drink the torpedo. All over my shirt. And Rascal.
Awesome Hawaiian shirt.
So I asked Rascal. He's like, "No, dude, I don't have any extra shirts." So I asked Flats, and Flats said, "Here you go."
And that's an Abercrombie. I see the little sparkles you have there.
Well, so Rascal and Flat, they both have a a deal with Abercrombie. So I told them, if this is all you got, I'm willing to rock a little Abercrombie.
We're looking good.
You're rocking it. I'm rocking it.
Yeah, we're looking good. He
That's,
looks a little better than me with it, but either way, we're stealing women's shirts. So
Thank you, Rascal, and thank you, Flat,
yeah, thank you.
and Torpedo Beer. This is out to you. I wouldn't be wearing this if it wasn't for you.
So Rob squared. We're continuing on the theme of guys we want to reach for and guys we want to fade.
Yeah.
So now we're on running backs here, and we're getting deeper in this. The quarterbacks are nice, but this is where the money is made.
I agree. with
Running
you.
backs and
I agree
receivers.
because most of the time when you're drafting, let's say you have a first round, you're like, all right, do I take a receiver? What do I do here? Most of the time, running backs. I think it's fair to say if you have a championship quality team, most of the time you have two solid running backs. Whether it's you're drafting them early, or maybe some guys you're reaching on.
You find the waiver wire guy who becomes an RB2.
Or like last year, both of us faded McCaffrey, and the only reason we were competitive is because we faded that man. Either traded off of him or didn't draft him completely.
Or me, I never get the number one pick. But so this first name here.
No,
is,
Brad, I'm here. You don't have. We're not cutting it. We're not editing it. You want? Would you like a?
I want a guy you want to
positive or
reach
negative?
for. Let's go
So you want the
two
positive.
reaches, and we'll shit on some guys later.
Let me just pull this guy.
There you go. He's heavy though.
Let me stretch. Oh, I remember this. Okay, you're gonna like it. So this kind of goes with. He's not a big PPR guy. While I think he's going to do well, decently well catching the ball, maybe 20 catches. I don't think he's going to have a big PPR year, but where he's getting drafted, and with the team he's on, with the expectations I have for the team, I have high expectations for the player in general. It's the New England Patriots, Damien Harris.
I like it.
Last year, I remember right around this time last year, all the reports were Damien Harris, best back in camp. Best back in camp. But you had Sony, you had still James White,
still
you
there.
had Rex Burkhead. I mean,
Rex is gone.
Yeah, you had a handful of guys where, all right, this rookie might be the best guy in camp, but Brady had just left, Newton's there. So there's a lot of things where there's a lot of moving pieces where, as smart as Belichick is, he's still trying to figure it out. This year, the way they had spent on in free agency, on offense, on defense,
A lot of tight ends.
Well, just in general, they the highest spending team in free agency. I feel like they're in a win now mode. because it's very simple. Because of that, I think one they're going to hold that Cam in terms of rushing. I think they anticipate him being more they hope, not maybe anticipate, but they hope that he's going to be a little more of a pocket passer. He's still going to run. Don't get me wrong. He'll still get his goal line carries. He's still good at that. But I think Damien Harris is going to take that load out. I mean, he had, I don't even know how many 100-yard rushing games, but he had to have
3 or 4.
Exactly. Under the radar. Like 100% under the radar.
Yeah, when he got 20 touches, he turned into 100 yards.
And I know Stevenson, this is after the preseason game that just happened.
90-yard.
Yeah, so
that was with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, by the way.
It doesn't matter, but
against scrubs.
So when you look at your ADPs, Stevenson's going to be
because of one play with 2 minutes left in the game.
But this is the perfect opportunity for someone to grab Harris right now. If you're going to draft him the next week or two before the next preseason game where Harris goes and does the same shit or rushes for 2 touchdowns, because the Patriots seem to do that all the time with their primary running back. A guy will rush for 4 or 5 touchdowns in the first 4 or 5 weeks. And all of a sudden, it's going to threaten number 1 status. But Harris is a 100-yard run. He's going to push for 1,100, 1,200 yards, I think. Maybe 20 to 40 catches, somewhere in there. And maybe 10 total touchdowns, I think.
Right now, Damien Harris is going 83.5 in ADP at Underdog. And Underdog's half-point PPR, so it's not full PPR.
Yeah.
And that is RB29. And he's going around the likes of Michael Carter, Chase Edmonds, Trey Sermon, Devontae Williams, Raheem Mostert, A.J. Dillon, James Robinson, kind of just sprinkling around there.
Yeah, the one exception that I would say maybe, and simply for upside, is Chase Edmonds. But
yeah,
I anticipate the Patriots were super heavy spenders. They and Belichick doesn't really do it. I think people are discrediting Belichick because Brady left and went on a Super Bowl, so all of a sudden, maybe it was Belichick.
It was Belichick, too.
It was obviously it was a combination of both.
Best coach of all time.
I think so. Of course.
And here's one thing that also would help. Their win total right now is 9.5. So Vegas is expecting them to do good.
Yeah.
So if they're going to be good, whether that's with Cam Newton, whether that's with Mac Jones.
Doesn't matter, because Damien Harris will be on the field.
I prefer him with Mac Jones. I feel like his efficiency will be better with Cam, but his touchdowns will be lower. With Mac, I feel like he's going to get the touchdowns, right? There's no threat of a QB keeper. It's going to be just a traditional pro-style offense with first and goal from the 3. You're going to give fucking Damien Harris 3 carries. Like, LeGarrette Blount shit.
I view it a little bit differently. I think with Mac Jones, the passing efficiency is going to be considerably higher. Because we're watching
I was talking about the running back efficiency.
No. So let me go first. Let me go first. So we're watching the highlights with Alabama, right? And we watched Tua, we got Hurts. Well, essentially, what we're doing is watching the receivers. But what we saw was Tua pass, we saw Hurts, and then we saw Mac Jones. We're like, wow, Mac Jones, night and day difference between the passing capabilities of those two.
It was a real NFL pass.
So to kind of to come back full circle on what I was saying, so if Mac Jones is the quarterback, I would expect a higher passing efficiency from the team. Where if Cam Newton is the quarterback, I think on those first or let's say 5 yards to go on goal, second and goal, whatever it may be. I think the threat of Cam Newton rushing the ball opens more up for Damien Harris.
It does.
So I think that Damien Harris, that 1-2 punch, as long as Cam's efficient or effective rather, I think Damien Harris is going to be more effective with Cam than he will with Mac. Because I think Mac is too one-dimensional, where Cam's multi-dimensional.
Right. Okay.
So it's that simple. I think the Patriots are going to do well.
Mm-hmm.
They were heavy spenders in free agency. They're in a win now mode, and they're going to play their best players. That's why I think Cam's going to start. I think Damien Harris is going to start. So I don't think you have any concerns about Stevenson, because Belichick is similar.
Sony Michel might get
Belichick's similar to me, but I'm similar to Belichick, and I don't necessarily trust those rookies because Belichick is win now every.
And Sony Michel might get cut.
I'm not
right. He's not. He's a.
I didn't mention that you
policy.
did.
Right.
You did. Not a concern.
All right. Now let's start shitting on some guys.
Who?
Do that. Again, these are not guys we won't draft. These are guys. Well, this one is actually one I won't draft. But it's mostly supposed to be guys we're fading.
Okay.
But we're going to say this guy's going to be faded into oblivion. It's Myles Gaskin. He gone.
That's it. That's it. All right. So no Myles Gaskin.
Right. Cut it off. Yeah. He's going RB24 right now. His ADP is 65th. That's a 5th round player. And, that's like eerily similar to where Travis Etienne's going. Where like Travis Etienne is a game breaker. He's a great player.
Notice the difference, yeah.
Now, Myles Gaskin's more of a try-hard, a Taj Gibson. He's...
Well, Gaskin had a good year.
He did have a good year. They had no one else, and I'll give you a little background on Gaskin, and I'll tell you why I want to shit on him, and I probably already have. Sorry, Myles. He's 5'10", 200, so he's small. He's about the same size and everything as Austin Eckler, right?
Okay.
And, we've seen year in, year out, the Chargers just not give Austin Eckler goal line snaps. They do not give him goal line rushes, like... 3rd and short, he's just not in the game. So Myles Gaskin is not going to have that role. And he had it last year a little bit because they literally had nobody else. They had Jordan Howard for 6 weeks.
He did pretty well in that role, didn't he?
He did pretty well.
I don't really recall too much. But...
He was okay, dude. He's more of a PPR guy, and he did okay. But Myles Gaskin is an undrafted free agent. He's a practice squad guy. And last year, they brought in Jordan Howard, and then he didn't work out, and they kind of just like... They were competitive. They just brought in the guy that was a available body that could play, and he's competitive. And he's just not good at football. As simple as that. Break it down. He's not a 3-down back, and they tried to make him one, but he's not a 3-down back.
Yeah.
All right. He cannot shoulder the workload. He got hurt. He got hurt a couple times last year. He got nicked up. Like he's just too small to carry the load. He's slow. There's a reason he was undrafted. He was like a 4'6" guy weighing 200 pounds.
Sure.
Like, it's nice that he's like a good story and all, but unfortunately, I don't want to draft him to be a starting running back on my team.
No.
And
who gets?
They have Salvin Ahmed, the terrorist. We'll refer to him as a terrorist on this channel. Even though he's not, he's not of that descent. I'm not going to say that descent on here.
He's probably Muslim.
No, he's really not. He's totally just a normal black dude.
Oh, really?
But, yeah, it's pronounced Salvin Ahmed.
His religious?
Well, I don't, but I didn't really do too much research into Ahmed. I didn't look into that part of his game.
True, I shouldn't assume he's Muslim either.
Right. So, anywho's.
Sorry.
Muslim too much. So, he is the same player as Gaskin, same size, same weight. When Gaskin, he actually missed like 2 or 3 games from COVID last year, and Ahmed came in. Ahmed came in to fill him.
I say, Ahmed, what is that thing you people do when you're about to assassinate an infidel?
Ah, you mean this?
Man.
Came in to fill in for him, and he like kind of killed it. He had like 19 carries, 77 yards, like did the same thing Gaskin was doing before.
Okay.
So they're interchangeable, okay? And he's on the roster still. And actually today against the Bears in preseason, he had an awesome catch.
Okay.
Like a 24-yard touchdown. Like
right.
They're kind of the same player. So they're interchangeable. And they also brought in Malcolm Brown. And what do we know about Malcolm Brown? He's boring. He is just he's almost like a Jamal Williams, man. No matter where he goes, Malcolm Brown is a coach's pet that's going to get play.
He's a turd in the urinal for most starting fantasy football running backs.
You never want to start him, but you know what he does? He ruins the value of the guys you want to start. And last year was taking snaps away from Darrell Henderson and Cam Akers. And the Rams drafted both those guys in the 2nd round in consecutive years, right? Yeah. And apparently, with what you heard about Cam Akers before the injury, he was their guy this year. So they were all about Cam Akers, okay? And they were all about Darrell Henderson.
Everyone right now.
You know what I mean? Like he was getting drafted in the 1st round in some fantasy leagues
because
he was given the torch. Yeah. So, but if he was given the torch, why was Malcolm Brown stealing his snaps last year?
Wasn't it injuries in the beginning?
It was. Yeah. But no matter what, Malcolm Brown was in the rotation. So what I'm telling you is Malcolm Brown's going to be in the rotation. He got the first 9 carries today against the Bears in the preseason. I know it's preseason, but he's going to be in the fold, and so is Salvin Ahmed, the terrorist. So we're looking at a 3-man committee, and like people are drafting Myles Gaskin. It's not because his ability; it's because he's like the last boring. Like he's in the running back dead zone of, well, this guy's a starter, right? So we'll draft him like where Mike Davis is going.
Yeah.
When Mike Davis has 0 competition behind him, like this guy actually, and this guy doesn't even have competition behind him. He's just not good enough to take it. And another reason to be off him is that Tua sucks. Yeah, and like I tried to give him. I tried to be on the Tua thing, but like we were talking about it before with Damien Harris.
Can't win a football game throwing with your back.
We were watching, right? We were watching. He throws with his back. I mean, we were watching.
Get over there, ball.
Recently, Jalen Waddle, Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, and who's the other? Devontae Smith. We were watching their highlights, right?
Oh my gosh,
and
so bad.
What's crazy is all these Alabama receivers have been there forever. Like
they all look good because we're watching their highlights, but it was the quarterback.
There's always 3 first-round receivers on every Alabama roster. So when you're watching, these, Devontae Smith, who played for 3 years at Alabama, you get to see in the highlights all 3 quarterbacks. You see Jalen Hurts, you get to see Mac Jones, and then obviously Tua. And what we noticed was just the difference from Mac Jones looked like a real passer out there, and Tua, it was nice his stats were good, but every time he was passing to a guy, he was wide open, and like it took everything in his body and his back mostly to throw the ball 50 yards to get this guy wide open, right?
I think that's why his hips are fucked up. He doesn't have a natural throwing motion.
Right.
He's like,
so he's putting more strain on his hips.
Well, because look at, not to diverge too much, but look
we're
at
shitting on Tua. So
look at like a quarterback that is notorious for playing baseball and football. Mahomes, Rodgers, like those. Kyler,
a ball, baby.
Kyler, like those are the guys that are like that guy can throw anything and look good doing it.
Did Tua play like lacrosse growing up? Because like he apparently like is trying to, it's like he's throwing he's using a lacrosse stick to throw.
No, I think it was shot put. Like,
shot put.
He was nothing but shot put.
It wasn't baseball or football.
Like he throws it like
it's awful. I mean, it's awful. It makes Phillip Rivers look like goddamn Brett Favre. I mean,
I think there's something to be said for a natural throwing motion, and I think Tua's overhyped on the pedigree and those. I mean, that one throw he had to Devontae Smith in the national championship, gorgeous. The way he danced around, gorgeous. But that's more of an athleticism.
Right.
And Devontae Smith,
the throwing motion is not good though.
No, I absolutely hate.
In the NFL, dancing doesn't get you shit, and there's just a couple other things that are going to get you off Myles Gaskin once I can. Can convey them. So Jalen Waddle they drafted. That wide receiver room is deep, which is a reason I kind of am curious about Tua because with that wide receiver group of Will Fuller, of Devontae Smith, of Gesicki at tight end, with Jalen Waddle, dude, they have good receivers. Yeah. Is that Jalen Waddle is going to have a hard time finding the field all the time at receiver? I could see him getting some running back snaps because we know that guy's a playmaker, right? Not much, but 3 or 4 a game.
Yeah.
Just again, that with a 3-man committee just shows me that
in the red zone.
Gaskin might only have 40% of the snaps. And again, I was bragging about ETN with 60%. The difference is ETN's a great player.
Okay.
Gaskin is not.
Yeah.
So the reason we want to draft Gaskin or people are drafting him at RB24 is that it's pure volume play. The problem is there's a chance he won't get volume. You're drafting a bad guy in a 3-man committee with low touchdown volume. What are you getting?
So
9 for 40 and
So I understand how you feel about ETN, but tell me what you feel about Gaskin.
Yeah, sorry. This is the last thing. Also, he has a very small bones and a small body.
Small
injury prone, small everything. Yeah. This is the point that really will make you realize why you shouldn't draft Gaskin. Right. Is that they had 2 picks in the first round, and they had an early early 2nd round pick.
Yeah.
So they had 3 of the first 36 picks. So they wanted Javonte Williams very bad. Denver drafted Javonte Williams. Mm-hmm. Denver traded up ahead of Miami and sniped him. So Miami had the 36th pick. And they were looking at the board. No one needed a running back. And, they were a little higher. Javonte was a mid-second round grade. And this is the early 2nd round. And Denver, who already had Melvin Gordon, let Phillip Lindsay walk.
Why they trade up to get Javonte Williams but not Justin Fields?
Right. Granted, that's the 2nd round to 1st round, but they could have done that too, though.
I had to put that jab
truth,
in there.
Man, truth.
Because we have Fields now.
We
The Bears.
Found it. Let's go.
The Bears.
Now we're both Bears fans because of today's preseason with Fields, right? We're hating on them.
77 yards, motherfucker.
But for me, it's also it's player, and it's also watch what the team's doing. Yeah. And what the team was doing was it was known, multiple sources, Adam Schefter, that they wanted a running back and they wanted Javonte Williams.
Okay.
And they thought they were going to get him. They were 1 pick away.
They assumed they were.
And then Denver trades up most people don't trade up to get running backs in the 2nd round. It's just not a good investment. But they saw what obviously the Miami saw, and they sniped him. So what the team is telling me is that they don't trust Myles Gaskin. They're trying to get him in a second-round running back.
Yeah.
They already have Ahmed. They brought in Malcolm Brown. So, he's an undrafted player. He's not their future. They have no ties to him.
I like it.
He's just at running back 24 at 65th overall. That's way too rich for my blood. Do not draft Myles Gaskin. I'm going to say this is not a do not draft list, and I hate those.
Yeah.
But I'll never have him because unless he falls to RB 38 or 40, I have him as RB 35 in my rankings.
Here's
you have him in the same, right?
Here's a good one.
Zach Moss.
Ooh.
Zach Moss is going in the 9th round, so
Gaskin or Gus Edwards.
Gus Edwards.
Oh, there you go. That's all you need to know.
Gus Edwards isn't even a starting running back on his team.
All you need to know.
His 30% snap share, 35% is going to be more valuable than Myles Gaskin.
So Gaskin is probably one of the more overrated players in your opinion.
He's the most overrated player.
Oh, I like that. All right.
What the fuck are we talking about? We're 65th overall for a pipsqueak?
Yeah.
All right, who do you got? Who's your fade? Who's your hate?
All right, here. Let me grab this guy out of the trash real quick.
Oh, God.
Oh, here. Oh, you know this guy. Najee Harris.
Oh.
And again, it's pretty simple. I'm not going to...
Hates rookies.
I'm not going to overly impress you with the stats when I'm wearing this shirt because, you see the pythons.
It's a great shirt.
You see the diamonds. They're there for a reason. Anyways, Najee, if it's not abundantly clear by now, I don't like rookies.
Mm-hmm. And you hate the Steelers. So.
Well, this year. It's not an
right.
underlying hate for the Steelers.
This year.
But this year, I think they're the most overhyped team. Maybe outside of Miami.
Started 11-0 last year, but whatever.
Yeah, I put my money where my mouth. I've already made a bet that the Steelers have the worst record in the NFL. So to me, this is a product of a rookie RB coming in, super high expectations, coming into a team that has high expectations that I just do not see performing. I think the Steelers have one of the worst offensive lines in the league. Between them and the Giants, just all the news that's coming out, between the scuffles, people retiring, just uncertainty, overhyping, Big Ben's coming in super slim when he's still super fat. None of it makes sense. They're overselling the stock in the team to me, and I genuinely believe that they have a couple decent running backs behind them in Benny Snell and Anthony McFarland. I think those guys get more play than Najee. I know Najee's coming with a lot super high expectations, but the offensive line's trash. I think the quarterback's trash. If you're going to draft anyone on the Steelers, to me, it has to be Claypool. Outside of that, I really couldn't suggest any. I wouldn't recommend anyone. It's very simple. I think the Steelers are going to be bad. I think the offensive line is... So even the Steelers are decent. Last year, they made James Conner look like trash. And I think James Conner is not as bad as he looked last year. He's trash. That's fine. I'm not going to argue that. It's fine. But I think the big reason why he looked like trash was, one, nicked up, and you just couldn't get anything going behind that offensive line. So I don't think he's great, James Conner, but I don't think he's horrible. But I think being a mediocre running back behind a horrible offensive line makes you look like absolute dog shit. So,
do you think at this point in their career, last year James Conner, this year Najee Harris, who's a better player?
James Conner. He's done there, and he's already rushed for 1,300 yards.
Okay. Well,
he's already done it to me.
You're discrediting the guy. So.
No, that's fine. If Najee Harris shows up and does it, that's fine. But that's not a guy that I'm going to invest my fantasy life on.
Because he's going in the mid-second.
Yeah,
sometimes early second.
Yeah. So
RB12, RB14, RB11, RB13.
Honestly, fantastic point, because that's a big reason why I'm fading him. Is because he's going
around Joe Mixon, around Austin Eckler.
Yeah, no fucking way. No way.
Close to Aaron Jones.
No way. No, absolutely no way. If it was between,
I can tell you right now, he's a way better player than James Conner.
But just I don't comprehend how. That's fine. I don't comprehend how Najee Harris is so much. His expectations are so much higher than someone like Travis Etienne. Najee.
Well, no, the reason is because he is guaranteed 300 touches.
Why?
Because there's no one else there.
They drafted Snell and McFarland in the last 2 years.
Okay. I love McFarland. Remember me last year with McFarland.
Okay.
McFarland, I comped to Dalvin Cook. A smaller Dalvin Cook. Okay.
Before you even go on,
Benny Snell is toast.
No,
bro.
I want to put this out. I think Snell's going to have the starting
Snell might
running
get
back.
cut.
I don't think no.
He's going to start this year?
No, I don't think that. No, I'm not willing to go that far because I think Najee Harris is going to get the opportunity.
I'm going to fight you on this one, man.
That's fine. It's just not a situation I'm going to touch at all. I'm not drafting. I might draft Benny Snell or McFarland in the very last round.
Again, I'm going back to what I said about the stat of the first round running backs getting 198 touches.
Fine, man.
But I'm saying he's going to have 300 touches. Now they're going to be inefficient as fuck. Okay, he might average 3.9 yards.
Sniff 300, dude. He's not going to sniff it.
You don't think he's going to average 17 touches a game?
No.
12? What are you talking about?
That? Yeah, I think closer to 10 is more realistic. I think they're going to be horrible. They're going to be horrible.
That has nothing to do with his touches.
Yeah, it does because
he's also a good receiver.
If the team starts off 0-8, let's say,
they're going to play him even more.
No, they won't. No, because they're going to save him the same way they did with Nixon last year.
Okay, so you're just betting on the fucking Pittsburgh winning 4 games.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like their offensive line. I think Pittsburgh's going to be bad.
Either,
I'm not going to trust a rookie. Those are 3 reasons why I'm not going to invest in someone in the second round.
Can I give you 3 reasons why I like Najee Harris?
In the second round, yeah.
I don't necessarily like him at his price point, but there's a point where
go ahead.
I'm comfortable with taking him at the end of the second. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
He's guaranteed workload. Okay? He is guaranteed 17 touches a game. And you can debate me on this one. He is because he's a 3-down running back, right? And that's what they've been. And one thing about Mike Tomlin is a 1 running back guy. Okay? Now, I don't know how his marriage is, but I can tell you Mike Tomlin's never cheated on his wife once because that man finds a guy, Le'Veon Bell, James Conner when Le'Veon Bell held out, gives him all the work, right? Uh-huh. He's known for giving his running backs almost a dumb amount of snap share, burning them out. He gives them 80%. He leaves them out there when he shouldn't, okay? And they spent the draft capital. They're almost trying to hide their offensive line by drafting a running back, which it doesn't work. But it doesn't matter because I feel like he's going to have 5 targets a game. I see him having 40 or 50 catches. You can shake your head.
No, I'm sorry.
But I see the path for the volume is going to be there. Now, is the efficiency going to be there? No. But if they are somewhat competitive, which their over-under is 9 right now, 9.5, 8, whatever it is, they're still the Steelers. He's going to have a great role in that offense. He's going to have the goal line carry. He's going to have the third down snaps. I feel like his upside is a little limited from the fact that their offensive line's trash and their offense might be bad.
Let me ask you this: what is it? So, how does when Haskins is starting week 5 and finishing the season?
I like Haskins.
You like Najee more with Haskins?
No.
So why do you like him more with Big Ben?
Well, Haskins is a knucklehead, but
Big Ben is trash too, bro. You like Big Ben?
No.
Then what do you like about this situation outside?
I like the volume.
Yeah. Okay.
So he doesn't need to be great. He just needs to have
too many
volume,
things that
right?
have to break right for him to even smell that second round value. I think if he's going in the 7th round,
this man has Najee Harris as a 26th running back.
Legit. I made these rankings.
Yeah, he did. It's real low, and he stands by it, and it kind of gives me pause because I respect your opinion very highly. So
let me just say this: I'm more than happy to be wrong on Najee Harris.
You are probably lower than anyone in the industry on Najee Harris, and we're not in the industry we want to be. It's hard to be in the industry when wearing these shirts. No one's gonna take us serious, but he's the lowest on Najee Harris, and I was actually higher. I've been lowering him a bit, clearly Mixon over him, obviously he's Swift over him.
Too many things have to go right. Do you have Swift over Najee?
No.
Woohoo!
No. Dude, no. Because the Steelers are still going to be better than Detroit. We have a bet on this. And for me, here's the question in half PPR, right? It's a Dobbins or Harris. Because Harris, I know, is going to get the workload where Dobbins is going to get 70% of the work of Harris, but his efficiency and touchdown numbers are going to be through the roof, right? Dobbins can score 16 touchdowns.
How many games are the Steelers going to win next year?
7-9.
They're going to be
7-9. Yes, they're gonna be
All
500.
7 to them.
Yes, they'll be competitive. They're the Steelers. They're always competitive.
Yeah, I know Tom.
So we're gonna agree to disagree on this one, and this is a good one because this is a player that is
He's early. I mean, that's someone.
And the thing about Najee Harris is like I like him as a player, but it's hard to even judge his tape, as is any Alabama player, because all we saw in the highlights, he had 23 touchdowns or whatever, was just like him running through an open hole.
He doesn't jump off the page to me.
Well, he doesn't have to because there's no one to even challenge him in college because he's running behind that offensive line with those receivers, right? We'll see. Yeah. But obviously he was drafted there for a reason, and he's going to get the work. So you're literally banking on the Steelers sucking nuts and the most inefficient season ever. So I guess we'll see. I can promise you he's going to be closer to 12 than 24. He's definitely not going to be 24 if he stays healthy. We have bets on this.
No, look.
I'm not even that high on him.
No, if that's what happens, I'm okay being wrong on that guy. That's not a guy that I'm willing to invest any stock when I'm trying to win my fantasy league.
Tell me how you really feel.
That's not the guy. Maybe in the 7th round. That's it.
Found it. Rob squared.
Me.